Hello, are you stressed or are you on at your best? Welcome to Allianz Joy. So, welcome here today at Win Win Women TV. I am glad to see you on my show, Allianz Joy. And of course, we're going to talk about topics that are current and topics that are near to my heart. And of course, we're going to bring the connective spirit. We're going to bring spirituality and health together. We're going to talk about wellness and the things that I do. My name is Elian Haan. I am a life coach and wellness coach and talk a lot about exercise, talk a lot about the healing powers of movement, talk a lot about yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong energy work for healing or anxiety or stress or even our depression. And today we're going to go a little bit deeper into those topics. So we know that we have a lot of people suffering from anxiety. We have a lot of people around us that are suffering with mental health issues and with depression. And this is definitely a sign of the times. This is definitely at the moment something we cannot really do a lot about because there's a lot going on and we have an overload of information. So we are sometimes into a, we enter sometimes into a state of stress or a state of anxiety that we don't really know where it's coming from or what to do with it or what triggered it. There's just so much. And we also see it a lot, and I see it a lot in my work just around me, that people are just really, suffering from anxiety and not really knowing what to do with it. So that's what I do. I help people with that. And without digging just too much into the past or digging too much in the trauma, we just do want to manifest and we do want to find out where your anxiety and stress is coming from. And let's make a little bit of a connection between it and a little bit of a differentiation. So, if we are talking stress, for instance, we are experiencing immediate response, immediate reaction to what's happening in our surroundings. So, that is just stressing us out, and we might have high blood pressure, we might suffer from headaches, we might suffer from chest pain, we might suffer from heart palpitations, right? We just have this heart thing going on and we feel that our heart rate is up. We might have skin rash, we might have loss of sleep. That happens a lot. A lot of us have that insomnia going on that we just can't fall to sleep. And then even if we fall asleep, then a couple of hours later we feel ourselves awake again in the middle of the night. And we are thinking about a lot of things and we can't shut off our minds. All right, we have a monkey mind, right? That's what's going on. We call that monkey mind. So we're talking just stress symptoms, daily response to daily pressure, things around us, to situations where we are just kind of like nervous about, right? We have stress. Now, anxiety is an outcome of that stress at a more profound level. So, if we are just continuing experiencing that and we don't really know where that is coming from, then we call that anxiety. It is just kind of like a chronic condition of constantly being worried and constantly worrying about what's going to happen. And I can't do anything about it. We just feel that we're out of touch and out of control, and we can't really see um, how to control it, right? What to do with it. And we experience all kind of physical symptoms. So if we are getting into that monkey mind and it lasts too long and we're feeling overwhelmed, then we are getting into this fear situation, into a panic attack sometimes, into an anxiety attack. And that is just definitely that constant nagging, that's constant being worried about things that are not even happening, that might happen, but they also might not happen. But we're just thinking and thinking and thinking and overthinking. We're ruminating the past, where things that didn't work out in the past are coming back and are just keeping us in the forefront of our thinking, right? Like, well, it didn't work out that time, so why would it work out this time? It just constantly comes back to a negative thinking and a negative um, expectation of the outcome. And that's why we are so worried. So we have that immediate stress response to daily happenings, daily activities, people, surroundings, activities around us, television, the information that people are giving us. And then the stress response, the physical, the mental responses to that can lead over time to a longer time of anxiety, just really suffering from that, not being able to sleep, having a lot of panic attacks, having a lot of anxiety attacks without really being able to put our finger on the trigger. This is the most important. But let's talk about depression. When that goes for a longer time, even, then depression and anxiety, although they're both treatable illnesses, but they're both going sometimes hand in hand, and sometimes we can separate them. If we're talking about this depression, then we're really, how do I describe it to my patients? We're really into a state of thinking that nobody cares, and that thinking also leads us about not caring so much anymore. And I call that usually with my clients a state of indifference. I find indifference a really dangerous emotion because it really doesn't connect us anymore with anybody around us, anything around us. We just don't care. And we just feel that we're really lost, really lonely. And even if we know that people care about us or they tell us, we love you, we care about you, we just don't connect. We just don't feel it. We just don't feel that we're having that connection. And we're spiritually disengaged. And so at that moment, we are just really far away. And it's kind of like a really lonely state of mind, right? And if you're in that depression and you're just experiencing such big discouragement and such big hopelessness and sadness and anger sometimes, while you're not really able to put the finger on it either. Why are you so angry? Where does that come from? What do we need to do about it? And also, overall, with your body, of course, your energy levels are so low. Again, you suffer from insomnia. You're feeling overwhelmed by everything that you have to do. Even going into the kitchen or even going outside might be just really a threatening thing to do. Just clean up, and everything is exhausting and everything is really tired. Tidying up after yourself or going into a social situation is not really possible for you. Half the dose of people that are diagnosed with depression are also diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. So we're also having, again, not just the depression, but also those attacks, right? Where we just really panic and don't know what to do. I'm in the business of helping people, helping my clients, helping my patients through movement and through meditation and through energy and breathing with these symptoms of anxiety and depression and stress, just daily stress. And I have a couple of things for you that you can do for that. And I want to just go over that today again, kind of recap all those tips for anxiety, kind of recap the things that we can do for sleep and for loss of sleep, right? And lack of motivation. So, as a wellness and life coach, I do not just talk about people to make that connection mentally, spiritually, to find out where it comes from. And most of the time, my clients or my patients are coming exactly at that moment that they feel really stuck. They're coming to me. And maybe they have already worked on the past or worked on with a counselor, with a therapist, with a professional to look at the past and see what happened there, and then kind of progressed and processed into dealing with past issues. But then still, all of a sudden, we know what we don't want. We know what we don't want to rehash and relive. But all of a sudden, we still feel stuck because the world is just getting at us. The world is around us is just getting at us. It's just making us crazy and kind of itchy and kind of unhappy. So what to do from here? We know what we don't want, but what do we want now, right? Where do we go? I have to establish that with you. With my clients and patients, we're going to go through movement, we're going to go through stillness, we're going to go through meditation, and we also talk about making a plan going forward, how to get out of this anxiety, and how to make that body and soul connection. What can you simply do for yourself? And I always like to offer simple and effective things that leads to results, right? That is always my big word. SER. S and E equals R. So make it a little bit simpler. Make it in your approach, right? It doesn't have to be so complicated. Just to put a simple and effective approach on what you're doing, at what you're doing in your work or in your daily life or in your morning routine, and then that will already leads to results, so many results. And it is proven over time. I've only been doing this for a long time, so I know that I have seen a lot of patients feeling calmer and feeling more in control of their emotional outburst or of their emotions in general, feeling that anxiety or that stressful feeling is coming to you and it's attacking you, and they have more tools, a bigger toolbox, a bigger approach to deal with it. The first thing that we always have to do, and I've been going over this before, but I would like to reiterate it, is we have to identify those feelings. Sometimes we just go through the whole day and we're just even physically maybe throwing up or feeling nauseated and feeling really stuck and just feeling icky and feeling in a bad mood. We have to identify those feelings and then say, this is what I feel. Now, what can I do about it? And sometimes we just go through the whole day. We go through the whole event. We go through the whole emotion without stopping and saying, what happened? What just happened? What am I feeling? So if it's tough, stop and try to identify the emotions themselves. What do you feel? What does it relate to? And what does it feel in your body? Because that's what I talk about a lot as well. Of course, is that pain management. Can we solve this ourselves? All that chronic pain, is it coming from somewhere? What do we experience? So that is the first thing that we have to do. And the thing I always say that we're not so good at anymore is being mindful, is being in the moment. We're just not good with that because we are just go, 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 go all the time. I am number one that does that all the time. And I am number one, probably in my eyes, that loves to help other people the whole day. But then at the end of the day, I don't apply it to myself, right? And of course, I get better at it. And of course, I know what it is. And of course, I have really learned to understand, to identify feelings of stress and how that immediately goes in my body. The first thing where I feel it, if I'm stressed out, in my shoulders and in my back. And that's with a lot of people. So when I do a pain management thing, people have a lot of back pain and they come to me, I will identify that, but I also go relate that to your emotional state of mind. What are you thinking? What are you going through? For instance, if we identify, if we have to become in the moment, if we have to become that mindful, if we have to create that awareness, we have to stop. We have to stop and ask a couple of questions that can be very, very insightful. And for instance, at what time and where have I been bending backwards in my life, or in the last couple of months, or in the last year? Did I really have to bend over backwards to get things done? Was it really tough? Was it really complicated? Have I just been through a really stressful time already? Or did my family suffer? Or did I go through grief or loss? And what is the thing that was really impactful the last couple of months, right? That's a really insightful question that we have to ask ourselves. And then the second thing that we can ask ourselves is, what did I leave behind me? What have I pushed away? What did I turn away from? What did I not acknowledge? What did I not see? What did I not pay attention to? Was it something around me that really needed the attention and that really needed to be seen? And I looked away from it and I didn't pay attention. I neglected it. Was it something inside me? Was it some pain? Was it something that I just kind of walked over and just kind of trapped into the ground or crumbled upon, right? And just just didn't want to deal with it, step straight over it. So what is that doing? It's manifesting again in my body, right? And what is this pain allowing me, or what is it pain stop makes me stop doing? Is this pain just allowing me to do something different, or do I do different things because I have this pain? Or should I just stop doing it altogether? Or did I already stop doing things because of it? That's a big thing that I have to ask myself, right? And do describe the emotions. That's a really important thing as well. We do have to try to make words, find words to describe ourselves better. Not just sad and pain and loss, or just really go deeper into that emotional state and say, well, am I just really upset and angry? And why am I so? And does that really come from, a long time being in this relationship, or a long time being with those people, or a long time being at this workplace where I have not been happy? What is it that really gets me stuck again? And do I want this pain, or do I need this pain? Is this something that I allow myself to have? Or is this a warning? Is this something that I need to go through? Because it tells me something about myself. These things are really important to acknowledge and to ask yourself, what do I feel and what does it relate to? Our mind is constantly, and our spirit, our mood, our soul, our soulful connection is constantly in touch with our body. And we know so much about that now. We didn't even know all that stuff before, previously. Decades back, we didn't have so much information about our mindset being immediately in touch with our body and the symptoms that we feel in our body. So we can control the anxiety, we can control the stress by doing really wonderful, nice, mindful things for ourselves. We have to come into that state of awareness. That is the most important thing. If we become into that awareness feeling, if we get into that feeling of, hey, I recognize it now, and I can now do something about it, we can intervene that anxiety. And that's what I do. Anxiety intervention. Yes. So how can we, for instance, stop in that moment when we feel it and do something for ourselves? I'm going to just rehash some things that I've talked about in so many weeks or so many times on the show and gave you examples, but I'm going to keep doing that because this is what is so important right now. What do I see around me? A lot of pain and suffering. What do I see on television? A lot of pain and suffering. So, what can we do to stay close to ourselves and recognize what we do with it? And then maybe we even have that effect on others, right? When we feel calm and collected and we feel a little bit more in charge of our reactions, and then maybe we can make others feel calmer and more stable and more balanced around us, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Always taking a deep breath helps immediately. So when I say, don't immediately react, or just go crazy about a situation, or happening around us or people around us, just try to take a step back and just assess the situation. Just assess the situation. Say, why do I feel hurt? Or what is my reaction to this? Why do I feel lost? Why do I feel in pain? Why do I feel that somebody is trying to hurt me? Or why do I feel hurt by this? Maybe it is not even somebody else. Maybe it is just me feeling that. I went through that months ago when we said it might not even be something personal. Remember, I did a show about that. Not taking things so personal, but maybe I let it affect me because I have a tendency of taking everything very personal. And that was definitely the case in my previous life. I call it years ago, a couple decades ago. And that is normal for us when we're young to feel more into that situation because we are trying to please everybody. We're trying to make everybody around us happy. We're trying to just fill in. We're trying to fit in. We're trying to be into this perfect picture of all is well, perfect family, perfect kids, perfect home life, perfect spouse or partner, right? And then everything around us is falling in place with the perfect job, maybe, or the perfect thing that you love to do. But slowly but surely, in my case, I found out that I am perfectly imperfect. I am not perfect at all. I lack at so many things. I am so weird sometimes. Or sometimes I hide behind fun. Or sometimes I hide behind jokingly, jokingly to hide behind situations that are not so good. And sometimes I just want to crawl in the closet and be alone. So when you feel that, and you just kind of feel that you are having all kind of mechanisms to deal with situations around you, then you might identify those as well and sometimes try to change that up a little bit. You're always doing the same. You're always the comedian when it gets difficult. Hey, once you know that and you become aware of it, then you might react also a little bit different. That might be more healthy for yourself. In my case, that was definitely the case. Just trying not to live up to everybody's perfection, to everybody's perfect life, thinking always that others have it all and just need to work really hard and relate and do my best to fit in that perfect picture and not knowing or not understanding or not really getting it and trying, to be amazing, knowing that other people also all struggle with the same thing. And that's the nice thing of getting a little wiser, which sometimes comes with age, sometimes not. Because I have a lot of 22-year-olds that are really wise, and I have a lot of 55-year-olds that are not yet there. So it is not really age, but in my case, definitely a matter of growing up and understanding and stopping, being still and looking back at myself and saying, oh my gosh, you take everything personal. Why? Because you try to please everybody all the time. So if you can't, then you think it's your fault. And it is such a big thing. We do that so many times. We all do that. That's why I'm so adamant about it always. We just try to do that. We just try to, you know, constantly take it personal. Try not. Try not to go there. And who am I to even anticipate or think that I know what other people are thinking in the first place? How would I know? Leave that up to our higher power, right? I have no control over that. So sometimes one of the things that I can do is just go back to the things that I have control over, the small things in my life. In my case, for instance, I need to do that these couple of weeks because I have had a couple of things going on in my life. A couple, not a couple, a lot, right? In the middle of just a book launch and just kind of like planning the next couple of months of my life and how to go about scheduling things and workshops and just being busy with work and at the same time making decisions that affect my family life. What are we going to do together? What are we going to do to calm and be together and have family time and enjoy the vacations in the summers together? So planning and just anticipating things and being nervous about it gets us sometimes in a fear and in a state of panic and a fear of overwhelming things going on. And at the same time, we're a bit better off than last year in the middle of COVID or the year before. So there's a little bit more freedom in our thinking and in the things that we can do for ourselves. So if we try to just plan ahead a little bit, always my big thing, plan ahead a little bit in your way on the things that you can control with your family makes you feel a lot better. So try not to sabotage yourself constantly into the worry state, but just go back to what you have control over and try to plan a little bit ahead on things that you would love to do, things that make you happy, things that make you feel good. So try to plan. So we have to identify it. We have to come into that state of awareness, identify what's going on with us, and from there say, this is what I have control over. So this is what I can do for myself. Right? So just to wrap it up with a couple of things and tips on anxiety and on that stress, try to get some rest. Again, I was talking about myself. I need to rest. How did I find out, for instance? I got a little bit ill last week. My body tells me immediately when I have too much on my mind. And it was not even really all very, very stressful, but it was just overwhelming. Like I said, planning the summers and planning things with the family, doing things for others, and my work situation, busy work, and me writing and being in programs and things like that. Just all the things that I love to do, but even sometimes just like, how? Do I manage? Plan, 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 plan. So I'm just going to write myself a little note that next week this is doable. This is what I can get accomplished. The other five things have to wait. Then the week after, I'm going to do another thing. And then the week after, I'm going to finish another project. So I don't have to do it all at the same time. You have to be nice for yourself. You have to acknowledge that. Otherwise, like in my situation, I feel chronic back pain. It comes all the way, always up. I don't have a good back in the first place, and I was born with a disability. But I always feel it in my back if I get stressed out. Pain everywhere, not being able to sit for a long time. Just really acknowledging the fact that, oops, my body is telling me that over here I am going crazy. I am doing too much, thinking too much, overthinking, ruminating, going back to things that I don't need to go back to. It's behind me. We're not going that way. We're going forwards. What can I control? I have my family. I have my friends. I have the places where I can ask for help. I have this amazing Win Win Women channel where I have amazing women around me to ask for help. And so when I go there to that place, I feel calmer, it's a lot of control, and then I'm going to plan the stages of the things that I can do that are healthy choices. Go back to my nutrition. So I'm going to plan, I'm going to eat well, I'm going to take some moments of rest, and take some more time for quality meditation time, quality sleep time, go to bed a little earlier, right? Have a cup of tea late at night, less sugary things, so that I sleep better and just hydrate. I need to drink more water. I tend to forget it. I drink a lot of water already, but I need to drink more water. I forget that all the time. And then a couple of other things are just meditation, right? Taking the time for meditation, taking the time for prayer, whatever you feel like doing that day. Is it your spiritual Bible day and reading, or is it your day that you're thinking about just listening to a guided meditation? Or just maybe even in silence, right? Sitting outside and enjoying the beautiful things around you. Or is it a day for church? Just checking in with everyone, checking in with God or your higher power. So when you do that, those are things you can control. And those are things you can plan. And then definitely move. And I will talk about it in the next couple of weeks again. We'll do some more movement things. Move through Qigong, move through yoga, and feel your body. So when we can make that connection between befriending your body and recognizing what you were thinking and where it came from, creating that sense of awareness again. That is what yoga or yin yoga will do for you. Yin yoga goes a little bit deeper, just really into the connective tissue of our body by holding poses longer and really telling us what we're feeling and how can we make that connection between our liver and our brain, or how can we make that connection between our lower back and our thinking, or our crazy mindset, our monkey mind, and our shoulders being stressed out. Our minds, our thinking gives us constantly that feedback, right? So our body connects constantly with our minds, and we are able to, or what we're doing is when we get stressed out, we're going to cramp up, and we are connecting into this system, into this nervous system, like, telling us to stop right there, and actually we should just release and stretch through it. So I say that a lot. So talk about it today. What we talked about today is how to recognize just normal, everyday stress symptoms. When are those stress symptoms leading to anxiety? Feeling that for a longer period of time. And if that is the case, you might even suffer from depression, where you are really getting discouraged and really don't see a way out for a while. It doesn't have to be a lifetime sentence, and there's a lot of help out there. And what I offer is seeing that help into a holistic way, connecting our mind, our body, our soul, our spiritual life, all together to get it a little bit more balanced. If this helps you, really reach out. or just keep watching. It's all here on Win Win Women TV. It's all on my YouTube channel and on my website where you can find my services. And please reach out if you have pain, if you experience anxiety, if you are wanting to know more about meditation, if you like to know more about yoga or Qigong meditation techniques, moving meditation. So let me know and I'll share a lot with you. Till next week, and find me www.elianhaan.com. Elianhaan.com. Thank you so much for watching today, and make sure that you apply some of these things to yourself. And what can I say? Don't stress out. Don't stress out. There's things that you can do. Create awareness. Plan ahead a little bit about the things that you can control and that you are having the power over. And then just take a deep breath and go sit down and just feel. Just breathe and just feel. Elianhaan.com. Till next week, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it.